If your business is still under a million, this framework will help you achieve that milestone. And if you're already past a million, this same system can push you into a multi-million growth. And the best part, we are sharing it here totally for free. This framework has helped many businesses achieve their dream numbers. A UK property investment firm doubled ROI in just 6 months, and an artificial grass company in London scaled from £6,600 per month to £136,000 per month, crossing 1.5 millions in a year. 20x growth during COVID when most businesses were shutting down. So far in this series, we have covered the first step of the DRS, which is discovery. And we broke down the 3 golden W's: what, who, and why. We touched upon how you can uncover your why to build connection with your target audience. And here we uncovered how to sell the same product and service at 10x the price. The free discovery handbook is given in the description below. Download it and follow along. Then we moved into marketing discovery, where we showed you how to find right people to build trust and turn attention into sales. And then we moved into content discovery, where we gave you the blueprint to craft messaging that build trust and drives action. If you missed those, go back and watch them first, because each step starts on the before. So if you are not watching the initial part, you might not understand what we are going to discuss here. Hi, I'm Rahul Parashar, founder of Credofy Solutions. I left Accenture, one of the world's leading consulting firm, to start Credofy. Made mistakes, lost thousands, and then finally I hit my first million. Out of that journey came this 3-step DRS process, which we built to help other businesses avoid the trial and error. Now it's time for the next stage, which is SEO discovery. Here I'm going to break down the 6 core areas of SEO discovery, each one answering a question that decides whether your business gets found everywhere your buyers are looking. And just so you don't miss anything, we have compiled everything in a dedicated chapter on SEO discovery inside the free discovery guide to make multi-million in revenue. The link is in the description. Grab it and follow along as we go through these points one by one. And these are: number 1 is baseline. It tells you where are you right now. Second is your signals. This tells what exactly buyers want. Third is your landscape. Who are you up against? Fourth is your authority. How do you beat them? Fifth is your infrastructure. So this also talks about how you make your site search ready. Then finally, it's evolution. Here we talk about how to stay ahead in this AI age and what's coming up next and how the future is evolving. So here is the truth. No matter how great your product or your offer or your ads is, if your customer can't find you when they search, you don't exist. And search today isn't just about Google ranking, it's about showing up wherever your customers are looking. Google, YouTube, Instagram, even AI-driven platforms like ChatGPT, Gemini, Google new AI overviews and AI mode. So let's begin. Before you do anything else, you need to see your baseline. And that starts with your current traffic and performance audit. So this clearly tells you where are you right now, what's working and what is broken and what's holding you back, right? So this sets the benchmark which you must beat if you're revamping your online presence. And here is exactly what you need to look at. So first is your traffic sources. From where you are getting the traffic. Is it from your existing website, which is probably you might be getting traffic from your direct channels, or is it coming from social, or are you running any sort of paid campaigns, or is this coming from referrals, or you might be getting traffic from your organic social media or your organic thing that you have done in the past. And then comes your top performing pages, right? So what's exactly working? That you need to kind of identify your top performing pages. Which pages are driving you conversion and what is driving traffic or just engagement. So this will be helping you building brand, and this will be helping you building your revenue. So you need to protect these and optimize them further. Then you need to see what is broken. We need to see the weak spots here. So you need to identify what pages are outdated and what pages are duplicated. Either you refresh these outdated pages or you simply delete them. And then comes your content gap. Here you need to find all those missing case studies, detailed service pages, or FAQ that address objection. Filling these pages can boost conversion immediately, and how to do that? Simply see what competitors have on their site and what missing on yours. And again, you might ask how to do that. We will be covering that in step 2 of this DRS framework when we talk about SEO research, and let's continue with discovery for now. And then comes your user behavior. So here you need to see your bounce rate, your session duration, your site speed, your conversion rate, and how do people move between the pages. If they drop off too quickly, your structure and messaging might be an issue, and we discussed this in our last video when we talked about content discovery. Make sure you go and check that previous video. And then comes your device and speed. Here you need to see what is the traffic between mobile and desktop. And you will be amazed to see 70% of the traffic right now comes from mobile. So if your site is not mobile optimized, then you're losing this 70% of traffic. And then you need to check your core web vitals, because this also affects your ranking and conversion. Then comes your keyword footprint. Where do you have authority and for which terms or keywords are bringing impressions only but not getting you any sort of clicks? And then comes your backlink profile. A healthy backlink profile can lift your domain authority, but toxic links can hurt your ranking. Most of this can be checked through tools like Google Search Console and your Google Analytics platform. If it all sounds like a jargon, ask your marketer, whoever handles your SEO, for quarterly SEO reports that alone will surface the biggest gaps you need to fix. We have seen this play out in many clients. One SaaS company was publishing weekly blogs but had no case studies. Traffic was high but conversion were low because visitors didn't see proof. Once we added case studies that showed real results, the conversion jumped by 38%. Another client in real estate had opposite problem. Plenty of high traffic pages but no lead capture. By adding the right lead magnets to those pages, lead sales and revenue nearly doubled in just few months. Later in step 3 of the discovery, I'll show you exactly which lead magnets to create and how to use them to generate steady flow of leads. Even big brands like HubSpot, Forbes treat audit as an ongoing process. They refresh old blogs every year with new stats, example, and strategies. And that's why their content keeps ranking and converting even a decade later. So takeaway is, a proper audit isn't a vanity matrix. It's about protecting what works and fixing what is broken and laying the groundwork for stronger SEO performance. Once you know where you stand, the next step is to uncover what your buyers actually want. And that exact keyword they use and the question they are asking and the intent driving every search. So in step 2, we'll break down keyword research, and in step 3, we'll map those insights into content strategy that attracts and converts. We have also covered this in detail inside the guide. Make sure you have downloaded it from the description and following along as we go. See, today it's not about chasing the biggest search volume. It's about aligning the buyer intent. And these are, people are searching probably for information. They are doing some information related queries. Then there are commercial intent, and then there are transactional search queries or transactional intent. So in informational, you have your guides, FAQs, and blogs. Under commercial, you have your comparison tables, you have your reviews, case studies, and under transactional, it could be your pricing pages, your shop page, or your book now page, or it could be even your contact page. So when you map these keywords and these buyer intent into the respective stages, for information, you have your awareness, because all those people who are looking for these blogs and this information, they want to get aware. Then under commercial, you have your consideration. So once they are aware, they probably might consider your solution, and in transactional, they would be making a decision to work with you or not. So you need to create the content that meets people where they are in the journey. But one thing to note that these stages are still relevant. You see the traditional funnel? The traditional funnels look like this, right? Where you might have seen like this is awareness, this is your consideration, and then finally this is your decision. So this used to be a straight line when you used to work previously, like in 2000 or early 2000 era, right? But now this is no longer a straight line. Buyer don't move like this. So now the funnel looks like where in the awareness phase they might search you on first Google, then they might touch you up and they probably be getting aware on Instagram, then you have YouTube, then now you have all your AI, and there could be many more platforms that they would be searching the information. Then they move into the consideration where again they would be doing Googling, they would be considering you and seeing you on Instagram, and they would be researching and finding further more details on YouTube, and they might be either moving in circles, and finally they come down to your decision phase where they might buy either online or they might buy offline. And finally, once they buy your product, they might again move into the awareness. Now they want to see exactly how to use that particular product. And then they might consider if they want to kind of do some referrals and do some advocacy to promote your product and service, and then they will be making some decision to refer you or not, right? So this is how the complicated the funnel have got, and some people call this as a flywheel where people are always moving in some sort of a circle, and some people call it as an infinite funnel where they are keeping moving in a loop and finding information on many other platforms. That is why you need to show up everywhere your audience is. We'll get into this later in the 6 points, so make sure you watch this video till the end. And when it comes to keywords, the biggest mistake I see most businesses are doing is they are just choosing these transactional sort of keywords. And this transactional keywords, you might be amazed to know like this only make 1% of the total search volume, right? And this informational and commercial makes about 99% of the buyer intent in the volume. So I totally understand if you're starting up, this all thing might bring you revenue, but this entire information and commercial space where if you target, so this helps you become a brand. So I totally understand this all transaction keywords feel attractive because people are ready to buy. And if you focus only on them, you are missing the bigger picture, right? As I said, 99% of those searches are informational and commercial, and that's where people discover you, build trust, and eventually decide to buy or not. Just look at HubSpot. Long before they became a software giant, they dominated the search result for queries like what is CRM, how to do inbound marketing, and the best CRM for startups. These weren't just high intent buy now searches, but they positioned HubSpot as a go-to authority in the space. By the time prospects were ready to buy, HubSpot was already top of their mind because they have built trust through this awareness and the commercial stage. Now that you know your buyer intent, the next step is to check the landscape, which is competitor and your market insights. So here you need to see who is actually showing up for all these keywords and what are they doing better and where the gaps are that you can exploit. Right, so we touched this in the previous video in the marketing discovery, but that was just from positioning perspective. Here we are looking through the SEO lens to see who is actually outranking you in search and why. Remember, your SEO competitors might not be your actual business competitors. So these could be news, the niche site, or the blog sites who are outranking you for your buyer keywords. You got to study them and see what sort of content format that they have. So these could be videos, text, tools, or case studies. So this gives you the roadmap to identify these gaps and close these gaps. When we ask clients during SEO discovery who are their top competitors, and they will often share few names or links, but from the SEO perspective, those aren't always the real competitors, and that's where things can get unclear. But how do you actually identify who are your online competitors? It's actually quite straightforward. Start with the traditional search and type in your target or your buyer keywords and see who constantly show up on the page 1 and your top 10. So those are your organic competitors. And then you also need to look at the various other platforms like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and then you have Grok and AI mode of Google. And there could be a lot more that platforms that might be coming. So you need to do this multiple times to spot the pattern, and which sites keep coming up all the time. Next, identify your paid competitors who are running ads on Google or Meta. Look, you can find all your Google competitors as they give ad transparency tool, and you can see what sort of ads your competitor running on Meta via ads library. So there are tools like SpyFu as well that can help you uncover both organic and paid competitors in a more systematic way. You need to create an Excel sheet to list out all your competitors for your main keywords. See, here in SEO Discovery, your goal is to just get clarity who are your real competitors and understand the broader market landscape. We have also added a full chapter on SEO Discovery in the free guide. Make sure you have downloaded it and following along. In the step 2 of the discovery, we'll take those insights into deeper SEO research, analyzing authority, backlinks, and keyword gaps. And in step 3, we are going to translate that research into structured SEO strategy designed to help you win. Once you know your competition, the next question becomes how to beat them. And that is where your SEO content discovery comes in. So here you are building authority, depth, and trust. So you are not just another option, you are obvious choice. By this stage, you have audited your site, so you know what's working, what's broken, and where the gaps are. Now it's pinpointing what's missing and what needs improving, so your content fill those gaps and guides buyer through the entire journey from start to finish. So look across all your information, commercial, and transactional queries and ask yourself, do you have enough guides, blogs, and FAQs to capture early stage interest? Do you have comparison tables, reviews, and case studies to support mid-stage evaluation? Do you have a strong product, pricing, or booking page with the decision stage buyers? And at the same time, look at what formats your competitor dominate with. Is it a long form versus short form? Is this video, tools, or what exactly do they have on their website? Right? Later in the step 3, we are going to go deeper into the execution phase, from internal linking to pillar page creation to targeting snippet and preparing AI search. For now in discovery, the key is clarity. Know exactly which content you have versus what you don't have and what it takes you to match the authority in your market. So here's the thing. Content isn't just about volume, it's about the authority. So Investopedia is a great example. They have built such a strong structural content library that Google and even AI-powered search engine features frequently pull their definition guides and comparison. Their success comes from not chasing more content, but from curating and refining what they already have into an authoritative knowledge base. So if you want, you can add more pages and you can further build your knowledge base if you feel like it's about refining the existing content. And on a flip side, CNET tried the opposite approach. In 2023, they published large volume of AI generated content to scale their SEO. It backfired badly. Riddled with inaccuracy, it damaged their credibility and rankings. The lesson: content SEO is not about pumping in more pages, it's about building trust, depth, and authority that both search engine and user value. This way, your content doesn't just sit on your site. You stop worrying about competitors and your content actively competes with them and outranks them. So great content means nothing if you can't support it, and that's where your infrastructure comes. And here we'll talk about technical SEO. So it's all about speed, crawlability, and structure. I know these words might sound like a jargon maybe and even boring, but here is the thing: this unsexy stuff can make or break your website performance. So stick with me for further 2 minutes and grab a cup of coffee, and I promise it won't be painful. So first, here we have your crawlability and indexation. So search engine needs to understand your site. I have seen ranking drop because owners rarely log into their Google Search Console. Make sure Google can actually read your pages. Then comes your site speed and core web vitals. So slow website frustrate not just user but also Google. You can track this in your search console. Remember, speed matters. Even giants obsess over it. And then comes your mobile responsiveness. So this seems obvious, right? Yet many businesses ignore it and lose huge chunk of traffic. So as I said, more than 70% of visitors are coming from mobile. And then comes your clean URL structure. So keep them readable. Alphanumeric URLs are fine for landing pages, but never use them for your main organic pages. Finally, you have other must-haves, and these are your schema markup, your HTTPS, your canonical tags, your hreflang, and this you use for multilingual sites. Look, I know there are many more technical SEO factors, and these are the most important ones. There could be many that you can go further from your image alt tags and lot more, but these are the main vitals that you need to check on. So don't stress if you don't know what they all mean. Just check with your developer to make sure they are in place. So this is like plumbing your site. Invisible when it works, painful when it doesn't. Just look at Amazon. Back in 2006, they famously calculated that every extra 100 millisecond of page load time cost them 1% of the sales. That's billions lost in revenue simply because of the speed. If a giant like Amazon obsess over technical performance, you can see why these boring SEO foundations matter so much. Finally, once your technical base is solid, the last piece is evaluation. And here you need to future-proof yourself with AI search. To stay visible, as search is now shifting to AI, voice, and social. Because SEO today is not just all about Google, so it's not just a traditional SEO anymore. So people are looking everywhere from AI to social. So in AI, you have your Google, which have rolled out their AI overviews and the AI mode. Then you have the other platforms like ChatGPT, your Grok, your Perplexity, Claude, and a lot more that is going to come in future. So these are large language models. So they summarize the top results, meaning your site may not even get clicked unless you are the source of authority. So tools like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Grok or Claude are becoming the discovery platform right now, as I said. So this changes the game. Your SEO strategy can't be just about ranking only on Google. It's about ranking on all these platforms. So you need to create the content that's structured and authoritative, not only to be cited by LLM, but rather using schema and structured data so AI system understand your content. So producing content in multiple formats like video, text, and audio is what feeding this LLM. So this data is not just feeding only from your website, but this data is being fed to LLM from various other platforms like social, communities, and this could be Quora or Reddit. So it feeds model from every angle. And this entire thing is what we call omnichannel SEO. So for example, one of our client in property investment started publishing property guides and investors FAQ that not only ranked on Google but began showing up inside AI generated searches and overviews. So that's traffic without a traditional click. And if you want the exact roadmap to follow, we have put together a dedicated AI search podcast and how to dominate in this new era. You will find the link in the video description. Plus, we'll break this down even deeper into the step 3 of the DRS framework, so stay tuned for that. So when you put this all 6 together, here is what SEO discovery looks like. Baseline, you know where exactly you need to stand right now. Signal, you understand what your buyers are really searching for. Then comes your landscape, where you see who is competing for attention and where the gaps are. Authority, you know how to win trust and stand out from the competitor. Then you have your infrastructure, your site is fully equipped to be found and ranked. Finally, you have your evolution, you're ready to stay ahead no matter how search engine changes or how it will evolve. So when you connect this all 6, SEO stops being about ranking and becomes a system of visibility, one that captures demand today, adopts to tomorrow, and compounds authority over time. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about SEO discovery, the step that ensures your business isn't invisible online but actually shows up where your buyers are actually looking. So here's the thing, traffic alone doesn't pay bills. You can rank on Google, show up on AI search, and bring in thousands of visitors, but if your website design doesn't guide, engage, and convert them, all that effort goes into waste. And that's why the final part of the discovery, what we are going to talk about, is design discovery. And this is where all comes together. Because when your design works hand in hand with content in SEO, that's when your website stops being a brochure and starts becoming a business engine. And remember, we'll be going much deeper into SEO in the step 2 and the step 3. For now, keep it simple. Ask the right questions that reveals the gaps. Grab the guide from the description so that you can follow along step by step with everything we have covered. And in the next video, we'll break down everything that truly matters, which is design. Because if content and SEO makes you visible, design is what makes unforgettable and profitable. If you find this valuable, hit like, drop a comment below, and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Stay tuned. I'll see you in the next one.